Morning everybody, off to the Reading job. Woke late today, had a bit of a interesting night's sleep, i.e. didn't sleep that well. This is unusual for me, just had a lot of stuff going around in my mind, so got up, made a couple of notes, went back to bed. Consequently, I left myself with only half an hour to get ready, so I've come sailing out the door, and I'm now on my way to the station. Need to be in for the dining table. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. Everything else is going to be done by me today, so that should keep me busy all day. But I need to stop off, grab food, get things, because there's no food at the Reading house. Let's get cracking. So here we are at the Reading job once again. So we have lots going on today. We have the table turning up, which is my first port of call, so I need to get the old one out in readiness for the new one to arrive. I need to find a way to open these doors so that the table can be brought in around the back, because I think it's a little too large to come in the front. I have already measured, I know it can come in this way. I'm fully prepared, so I just need to get on with the work and clear the space. So here are the two doors. These need to open, and then the table will be able to come in. So the table's actually got to come all the way around in here this way, and it's going to hit this spot here. So here are the guys delivering it in. They're going to take the box off, and once that's done, it looks like this. Now obviously there is nothing down the centre here, so all that packaging will go, and then obviously they will get all the different bits to put on the back of that, like this. As you can see here, first thing to check is the little pads on the top of the legs. Those go on so that you can make sure that when you turn the table over, you can move it into position. So it's actually very, very heavy indeed. It's quite interesting to look at it from the other side. You won't see much of this as you go along, but it's worth inspecting. Here are the guys putting the legs together, and whilst that happened, the gardeners arrived, which was good timing. And the painting continues. Underneath there's Martin in the Harry Potter cupboard, just tidying things up and freshening things up in there. So the table is in place, the top is looking great, the base is looking firm and strong, everything is exactly where it should be. Perfect. Let's go and have a look upstairs. So if you can remember from the other day, this is now the airing cupboard and this has been painted. So it's all been smartened up quite a bit. You can kind of see here, everything has been painted all the way around, all the different wires and pipes. So we have everything looking a lot smarter. Also, here we are in the study. We've actually done some painting in here as well, if you remember. I've had the electrician on site today as well, so he's downstairs at the moment chasing in the wall, so I'll show you that in a moment. But what we do actually have is the paint work that has been done here in the study. It's a French grey, Farambol French grey, and so that's all now been painted, and I've had the electrician in. There were a couple of old telephone sockets, and you can get those kind of things sometimes in the back of cupboards, and I wasn't too sure whether they were live or not, so I've had him have a quick look at them and he said they're not live anymore, so he's taken them off the wall, which is great, which means the decorator now just has to touch up, and it makes everything a lot clearer and cleaner in the cupboard. The cupboard has been done. It's still in its two parts, but it is all painted really nicely. You can see here the colour, if you remember how it was before. So this is obviously where one of the sockets has been taken out, and you can see just down here as the sockets there ready to be collected, and there's the other one there in the corner. So the holes will just be filled, painted, and then this will be looking a lot better than when it appeared the other day. This socket over here, actually has, you can see, some wires going up, and this is, as far as I know, is still a live socket. I'm getting the electrician to test it. As you can see, it's got some wires, there's some trunking going up here. I know that this socket is working, but the other one I'm not quite sure, so I just want to make sure of that and make sure that it is working for the clients when they come back. But everything in here, all looking good. Meanwhile, here in the master bedroom, we have the second coat which has been put on to the four-poster bed. Remember the two posts, that they were a very pale wood, and we were revarnishing them to match in with the two existing end poles at the end of the bed. So this is the new one now. I think it's still just a little bit tacky, so we'll leave that to dry just a little bit longer, and then the whole bed will be pushed back against this wall and we can see how everything can fit in. So here we are in the master bedroom. I just want to have a quick chat with you about the fabrics that we are choosing for this particular room. Here, as you can see, we have the new chair in. This is from Graham & Green. It's a cane armchair. It has a woven linen fabric here on the cushion, and obviously on the back cushion here as well. It's a really nice addition to the room and goes really well with the light blue, which is Farambol you see behind me. But we are having some curtains in here, and the question has been, what fabric should we use for the curtains in this room? At the moment they're very dark, they're quite heavy, they're actually a very silk sort of damask with velvet embroidery on them. They're swags and tails, and they're quite gloomy over the room. So I wanted to lighten things up in here quite a bit. The client is lovely and is totally agreeable to this, so we've been looking at fabrics to choose. The issue has been what fabric to go for, so what you think can often be at odds with what your client thinks. We have actually narrowed this down to one in particular. So the fabric that we've chosen so far to go with this beautiful chair here is a fabric by Sanderson, and it's called Blossom Tree, and here it is. This is a very pale sort of cream, almost biscuit coloured linen, and on the top it has a very beautiful but very subtle print, a very floral print. It's got blues, it's got greens, quite spriggy in places, but actually it's going to look quite stunning with this other different fabrics that we have going on in the room. Of course there were other choices to go in this particular room, and the client liked a few fabrics from a company called Voyage. Now Voyage, they are a Scottish company, a British company, and they do quite traditional fabrics, lots of embroideries, lots of classic designs. And this would also work well in this room, depending on which route you wanted to go down to, whether you wanted something more delicate or whether you wanted something more classic and traditional. So we have quite a few of these here. They come in different colorways, as you can sort of see here. They're all roughly the same. Some will go better than others with this, and so it really is going to be personal preference, really about what the client will want to choose. So it could be a bit of blossom tree, or it could be perhaps Voyage. One is obviously undoubtedly bolder than the other, but I think that we don't need to go too bold when you have so many other bold statements happening in the room. So let's see what happens when the client comes back in town. Design work can be quite difficult to describe, and sometimes it really is a question of following your gut, certainly when it comes to putting together colours and fabrics. Your eye will generally tell you what works and what doesn't, and your eye will get better as time goes on. So please don't fret if you think, I don't know what goes with what, or I'm a bit worried about what goes with what. Your opinions will matter to your clients, but your clients should matter to you. As you can hear, or as you might be able to hear, we have some drilling going on downstairs, so the chasing of the walls continues. Let's go and see what's been going on. So what is it? Is that part of the door?
That's part of the corner thing, so if you're sort of doing a bit of plastering like that, you put that on the edge and then plaster up to that to give you a nice smooth edge. So that would have been the old door edge there. Like that. The opening would have been this side.
So the bit of a door. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that concludes today's work at the Reading property. All went well, all deliveries are in, chasing of the walls has been done, the painting's been done, everything's been done. I think the clients will be happy. They should be back at the weekend, which it now is. So I think I'm going to take a well-earned sit down. I've been on my feet all day. This is another thing that nobody tells you. You will be on your feet all day. Hope you've enjoyed today. Hope it all makes sense to you, and we shall be back with the Reading job for the next instalment, probably next week. See you then.